Hello and welcome to another stacking video. Today we're going to be going over T-spin carving. Now,
Shall we begin?
we're starting off with just the basics, like how to like just the basic carving, which is clean up a well to get T-spin, basically you remember how the feet in the well we did on the side stack. Basically, we're doing that for the center stack. But instead of going for Tetrises, we're going for T-spins here. So let me just purposely make a bit of a sloppy stack, building one side a lot higher than the other. I probably want to change that a bit. Darn it. Stacking is so good. Alright. Trying to find a situation where we can do one of these. I guess here could be one. It's not like normally where I would want to do one, but right here. So right here, these two sides are at different levels. So let's say I have an overhang right here. How can I get that T-spin? How can I get a T-spin out of this? Well, what I can do is I can place this O piece right here in the well, or you see the S piece coming up, I can place it there as well. Basically, general rule of thumb, O, S, and Z will raise the will raise the sides 2 lines. T, J, and L can raise it 3 lines. Though J and L can also raise it 1 line. Though it has to be either a J or an L. Also, same with the S and Z. Only one of them can raise it. Oh, rip. They just start over. Alright, so only one. So only, depending on what side you're building on, only an S or Z can be used. The same thing with the J and L, but only if you're trying to raise it by 1 line. I'll be showing you more examples here. I also should have pictures to go with it, so you can maybe use those to help. Let's just do that, and just try to raise it so it's exactly 3 lines up. There we go. So let's say I have a T-spin made right here, and then I have a wall here that was just already built. What I can do here is I can place either a J, L, or T like this in the gap to clear this line right here and carve out a little T-spin for me. Alright, so there is 1. Alright, so now I need to raise it 1 line. Let me see, it's best to have an overhang first, because it technically isn't T-spin carving if you carve it first. So we want to make it actual. So we have 1 line here. We can only use an L for this one. If we had the overhang on the other side, then we can use a J instead, but since we have the overhang, we can use it. Well, if the part that was lower was on the other side, we can use a J, but right here we can use an L, carving out that little T-spin gap right there for us to use. Just like that. And I guess I'll clump this in here, because it isn't really T-spin carving per se, but if you have an I piece, you can raise it 4 lines just like that. Easy. Alright, again, so S and Z raise 2, but are side dependent. You can only do it on one side. L, T, and J raise it 3. You can do on any side. Oh, also O raises it 2. But the L and J can also raise it 1 line, but can only do it on one side. And then the I piece can just raise it 4 no matter what. See, right here I can use this L piece right here. Or again, like I said earlier, I could just use this. So I can use the J, or I can use this L right here. I don't have any pieces to make an overhang with. We can do that. And there we go. That is pretty much the gist of basic carving. So there really isn't much to it. Carving itself it looks a lot more impressive than it actually is. Right here, also, I could have chosen a Z there to clear 1 line. So there's a bit of nuance to it, I guess, but those situations rarely come up, so I usually just leave it to... I just, at least mentally, I only really view it as Z, S can clear 1 line, T can clear... T's, J's, L's clear 3. It's just easier for me to think that way, though. There is, again, like I just said and showed accidentally for a bit there, there's a couple situations where if they're laid flat, these can clear 1 line, but those aren't really too common. Come on, I'm one piece off. I'm just gonna do that. Wait, no, it doesn't work. I don't have anything there. Oh well. Anyway, let's restart, and now let's start going over some of the more complicated setups. Those are just the basics. Now we're gonna be going over to some of the crazier ones, I guess. Alright, starting off, we're gonna be going over the WC Plowshare. Alright, for this one, we're just gonna kind of just build it out. Again, these are not things that you want to build. These are more things that you want to act upon if you see them, if that makes sense. How do I want to build this? Screw it, I'm just gonna do that. Alright, right here. See how I have a T-spin single? That's not ideal. I could use the eyepiece here, but let's pretend I don't have an eyepiece coming up, because you would want to use the eyepiece there, it makes sense, but let's say I don't have an eyepiece coming up and I really need to get this T-spin out fast. What you can do is you can take a J piece or L piece, depending on what side it is, and lay it like this. That way, the 3 will clear the line above and leave that little piece right there to get a nice T-spin. There is also another one, which I can show you, which is a bit more complicated, and essentially is a way to combo in. This one's a bit more useful as a setup. It's a way to combo in a T-spin single and a T-spin double. Alright, here we go. I got it. Alright, so here's a more complex situation for the Plowshare, which treats it more as like a setup. I need to get a... darn it, I'm not getting it. I'm just gonna place this here, because, there we go. Basically, it can essentially get you a quick back-to-back bonus on your T-spin double. Basically, placing this here, but without something on the side of it, so it won't clear a line. You can take a T-piece, get a T-spin single, and then it'll leave the gap for a T-spin double. Alright, and that is the WC Plowshare. Next is the QTK. Alright, so this is the general setup right here. Basically, you want to have that S-piece 3, so you want like 3 blocks between the S-piece and the ground, and then you want that 1 block gap right there. Alright, you already probably have a picture up on screen. Either way, to get this one, you're going to want to take your Z-piece, again, swap the S and Z if you're on the other side, and place it in that gap. It will clear 1 line, leaving space for that T-spin. There is a couple more variations of this. Gonna be showing those off. Again, 3 high. I'm just gonna do this. And with that S piece on top, you can also do it with a J, and it will also clear that 1 line, leaving that nice little gap for you to get a T-spin in. Though that one is less ideal since it leaves that 1 piece on the side, which you now have to get rid of. Though you can also use that to make another T-spin on top of it. Like, well, I did it. This isn't a situation where, well, actually I could. I just need to get a L right here, and then that's right there, and you can get another T-spin like that. So that's also an option. And yeah, so that is the QTK. Not much. Again, just another quick, simple one. And again, these are just like, these ones are, though they are a bit more complex, they are still pretty easy, though we do have a couple more intricate ones coming up after these. Next up, we have Deja Vu. I like, that one this is a cool name. I like it. Also, it's a very simple one for me to set up as well. At least on a blank board. Again, you don't want to set these up. These are ones that you just want to, like, find. Like, setting it up is kind of pointless, honestly. Anyway, here is Deja Vu. Again, you can build this on either side, and you also can have the overhang on the other side of it, if that makes sense. Like, I can have a square block here instead, and have it instead of the T-piece as the overhang, and it will still work. Yeah, let me show you it in action. Well, actually, that's not. I need 2 L's. Darn it. That wasn't ideal, especially because now I don't have a T-piece going up, but basically just slide this in here and clear that line. Again, you can also have the overhang on this side, so it can go on either side of it, and you can also do it either direction for J or L. And yeah, it's leaves that nice little gap for a T-spin double. All of these are going to leave a nice little gap for a T-spin double. That's their point. Why do I even need to specify that? Alright, next up, we have Crush. Alright, here we go with Crush. Alright, basically, you're looking for an area like this. Actually, I probably want to fill in that gap first. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. So you want a gap like this, and depending on where the wall is, depends on whether you're going to want to use a S or a Z. Basically, you want the tip of it to be pointing to the shorter wall. Alright, so basically you just place that in there, and then to get the T-spin, you want to take a L for a Z, an L for a Z, and a J for an S. Placing that right there to clear that line, it makes the overhang for you, giving you a nice little T-spin. Just like that. Alright, and next up is Rat Intuition. I like the name of this one as well. All these have cool names, I love them. Oh, I need something on top of the T-spin, don't I? Oh no, it's right there. It's just on the second. Yeah, it's on the second one. Alright, there we go. Here it is, Rat Intuition. Alright, so basically, if you see, so this part right here, and just the first half of this T. So really, it's just like rows between column 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now. Those are the ones I. Oh, whoopsies. Those are the only ones I want you paying attention to. I'm gonna clear that up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so just between 2 and 4 is the only parts that matters, and then you place that L piece on top of it to. So yeah, ignore the L piece. Basically, if you see like that area minus the L piece, you place the L piece on top of it. That way, you can spin this S in here and get a T-spin double. Hopefully, the picture up on screen plus my nonsense words will help you get an idea of what you meant to do there. Alrighty, next up is the Shallow Grave. 1 second. I'm not ready. Now I'm ready. Alright. This one, you're looking for a very specific setup. I can really quickly replicate it right here, though. Just like that, and then I can use like this, right? That's not ideal. I can still do this, right? Like that right there is the shape. This is probably not the best way to do that, though. I mean, this still works, and then I can just clean this up a bit. Alright, it's ready to go, I think, right? I think it's ready to go. Alright, for Shallow Grave. Depending on what side you want, will depend you want to do J or L. Basically, if you have this shape right here, like this 3x3 area with like 1 below, if that makes sense, I don't know if I explained that well, but basically, you're looking for this gap right here. What you can do is you can soft drop a J or an L, depends on what side you're on, into the gap, and leave a nice layer of the T-piece. Yeah, it is 1 line off from clearing the full T-spin double, but you know, I ain't too picky. All right. Now I'm gonna show you a few different things you could do with it. Well, I'm gonna show you a couple more. I'm gonna be showing you a side variation. Right here we could do it. Alright, yes. I need that font there. Can't I? Well, I mean, I'll just leave that gap there for now. mean, it doesn't matter too much. Not like it's gonna be the end of the world. Alright, right here. You can see the exact same shape forming right there on the side. But we can use that to make another shallow grave. For this one, we need another J piece. Just spin it like this, and leave that gap on the side, making a kind of off-the-wall T-spin type thing. Anyway, yeah, that's that one, and then there is one more I want to show. Actually, no, two more I want to show, sorry. I'm going to show you Shallow Grave 2 and the Cremate. Yeah, Cremate, yeah, that's what it's called, alright. There we go. Now we can show off Shallow Grave 2. Electric Boogaloo. I'm sorry. Alright, so to start that one off, you want to place that right there. Then, let's get this on here first, just so we can actually show it off. Then you want to spin the Z in. So, again, showing the shape on that one for screen, like what you're looking for. Have a gap right there so I don't have to T-spin double, but... It was a T-spin before a anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Tetris.
Oh, look at this pretty shape I made. Oh. That's a pretty shape. Only if I had another blue here, it'd be perfect. Aww. Pretty shape. Oh yeah, that was Shallow Grave 2. Alright, right here. Oh wait, no, we need an L there, not a square. I mean, this still works as a new key. Does it though? I need this here. Cause you need a. We know you need a. Ooh. So no, we need T-piece. We need T-piece. That's what we need. There we go. That's what it is. Got it. Took me a second, but there it is. Basically, it's this shape right here. I'm gonna build it up a bit, but you just spin a T-piece, spin an I-piece, sorry, in there just like that, leaving the gap for the T-piece. Alrighty, and last up is the Jigsaw. This one is an interesting one and is kind of hard to spot. I've never done one myself. I'll do my best though. Basically, you're looking for a 2 wide gap, like this, with at least, that is 3 high on one side, 4 high on the other side. So you're looking for a 2 wide gap between the both of them. One side being 4 high before a 1-piece gap, one side being 3 high before a 1-piece gap, both with overhangs. So yeah, it's kind of hard to spot this one, but it is quite good if you do spot it. Definitely an above average opener. So right here, I'm gonna want to do this, and then I can make the shorter one here with just a Z piece, I guess. Alright, and here we go. Alright, so now this one acts kind of like a, what is it called? I think it's called a cut? Cut something? I'm putting up on screen if I remember it. But basically, you just drop the S or Z into the gap, and then it creates a perfect thing for not 1, but 2 T-spin doubles. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? Oopsies, didn't mean to place it there. Anyway, now we're going to show a different variation of it, which is the Snakebite Variant. Ooh, spicy. Want a couple pieces specifically to start this one off with. Alright, so this one's a bit different, but it's roughly the same idea. So let me just, this one's a bit more complicated. I've never done this one before. I haven't done either of these before, but like this one, I've never even seen this one before. And then a T-piece right there. And then make an overhang. And then you need a gap right there. So I need another T-piece. I did this very poorly. because I need 2 T pieces. Oh, nearly messed that up. Like that. Then to start it off, you want to take it, the S or Z, again, depends on which side, and you want to turn it so it goes into the gap like that.
Lento.
And then it's the same shape as last time. Whoopsies. Just gonna do that.
Lento.
And I spun it the wrong direction. But it's the same shape as last time, 2 T-spin doubles. Yeah, let's kill myself. I deserve to die for that.
It seems I've lost.
Alright. I believe that is it, at least all that I can find on T-spin carving. Yep, so we have the jigsaw Snakebite Variation. We have the shallow gray, which is using the L piece to carve the T-spin shape. We have the Nuki, which is using the I piece to clear a line in between where T-spin would be. And we have all the other ones, like we have like the Rat's Nest, where you spin an S or Z into the spot. And yeah, I really like what is that one called? The Crush. I like that one. That one's cool. Where like you get the idea. A bunch of different ways to make T-spins by carving them. Now, these are not ones that I would always recommend going for. These are more of just like if you have a T-piece coming up and you happen to see one, and you don't have any other way to make a T-spin. Because if you have a different way to make a T-spin, it's recommended that you do that other than these setups, since it will break your back-to-back. Ones like the jigsaw, though, are a bit better, since you will get back-to-back on the second T-spin. But even though it's just one extra line that you get with the back-to-backs, it tends to be more worth it. It adds up over time, so it's more worth it to keep the back-to-back going than it is to go for these occasionally, and I mean very much occasionally, quicker setups. But yeah, important things to keep in mind, definitely, especially if you get your stack in like a weird place and you need to like raise it a bit on one side. Like those first ones I showed you are probably the best. But yeah, that's it. Next time we are... What do you mean? You know me at this point. I have no idea what we're doing next time. I'm gonna find out the moment I end this recording. See you then, though.